one of the richest countries in the world. Why some people choose not to move to Luxembourg. And today, we'll explore what causes this. Have you seen all those pictures of shacks, makeshift kitchens, and helpless people with their pets? A low-income dormitory where up to 5 people share the same space. Here, almost 1 in 5 people live on the brink of poverty, while the country collects prosperity awards and is home to some of the largest banks in the world. Many people can barely pay the rent at the end of the month. This is all happening in Luxembourg, a small country with enormous wealth. The country plunged into the steel industry during the 19th century, leaving behind medieval walls and going headlong into the Industrial Revolution. By the beginning of the 20th century, Luxembourg was among the 6 largest steel producers in the world, exporting up to 90% of its production to build bridges in France and skyscrapers in the United States. Nestled between France and Germany, 2 of Europe's economic powerhouses, Luxembourg took advantage of its proximity with stable institutions, a growing economy, and an enviable level of security. The country became a favorite destination for investors. And of course, a friendly tax system also gave it a massive boost. Luxembourg practically winked at the world's billionaires and became the darling of the financial sector. It's hard to find jobs. Now, let me be clear. There are plenty of job options you can go for. But the job market is not as strong as it was a few years back. The salaries are quite decent, with the legal minimum wage staying well above $2,000 each month. This can make handling daily costs easier for many people. Luxembourg is not only a small nation, it is also a major spot for visitors. This rise in attention brings its own challenges, as employers are becoming more selective, expecting strong language skills and many qualifications. A lot of people may not have the level of experience that workplaces in Luxembourg look for. So the issue is not that jobs do not exist, but that fitting roles are limited, leaving the average person struggling to find a position that aligns with their background. Plus, relying only on English will not always work, in a place where French and German are widely used. Getting a job without knowing at least one of these languages is nearly impossible. Speaking only one language offers no advantage in Luxembourg, so people who are not confident in learning new languages often avoid moving here. The paradox of wealth and poverty. Even with that incredible minimum wage, people still can't afford to live there. When you think of extreme poverty, Luxembourg seems a long way off. 20% of the population is at risk of poverty. We're talking about 108,000 people living in poverty in a country with a population of only 600,000. Those living on the minimum wage are already part of this group. The poverty line in 2024 is €2,47 net per month. According to official statistics, the average cost of maintaining a family in Luxembourg is around €72,000 a year. Divided by 12 months, this gives a monthly cost of €640. In other words, even someone earning the minimum wage has to deal with a staggering difference just to make ends meet. The visa system is tricky, and citizenship is tough. Now, even if you plan to move to Luxembourg and you are all set to go, the process will not be simple. At this stage, things become quite confusing because of the visa requirements you will need to deal with. Luxembourg, as a member of the EU, follows a tiered visa system. If you are an EU citizen, you are in a good position, since you will not face many visa issues. Though you still must obtain a registration certificate after living in Luxembourg for 3 months. But if you are not from the EU or London, the rules are not designed to make the situation easy. Getting a work visa in particular becomes extremely difficult. In short, your future employer has to work with the authorities and confirm that they could not find anyone else in the entire EU with your skills. This is one of the main reasons many people decide not to move to the country. To put it simply, there is no direct path to Luxembourg citizenship through money. If you move there and enjoy your life enough to want to stay for good, the process will not be simple. There are a few ways to gain citizenship, and one is through family connections. If you have relatives from Luxembourg, this is the easiest route. The second way is by naturalization, which means living there for many years and proving that you contribute positively to the country. Bad climate. Most people think about moving when they have had enough of tough, cold weather. A warm place brings comfort and attracts many newcomers. But this is where Luxembourg falls short. You will not often see bright sunshine here, and the days are usually cloudy and rainy. If the idea of carrying an umbrella and a raincoat at all times sounds fine to you, then this place might suit you. If not, it probably will not. The tolerance zone policy. Here's something that will absolutely shock you about Luxembourg's approach to social issues. As a progressive nation, Luxembourg maintains a clear distinction between prostitution itself and related exploitative acts. The act of exchanging sex for money is permitted, but here's where it gets really interesting. To maintain public order and ensure safety, street prostitution is strictly confined to a very small tolerance zone. This area consists of only a few designated streets near Luxembourg City's main train station. In a district already known for its mix of commercial, residential, and transport activity. The regulations in this zone are incredibly restrictive. Police patrol the area regularly, and any violations such as operating outside permitted hours. Standing beyond the designated zone or disturbing public order are subject to strict administrative penalties, with fines reaching up to 2,500 euros. Before continuing, if you think this video deserves to be seen by more people, please support us by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. And if you're watching on your phone, don't just stop at the like button, tap the hype button right below. It really helps me earn a bit of extra income. And we promise to keep bringing you exciting content. Women and international marriages. Have you ever met a woman whose origins you just can't guess? Elegant like the French, confident like the Germans, but with the subtle charm of someone raised in the heart of Belgium. If not, you probably haven't met a Luxembourgish woman with naturally rosy skin, deep blue, gray or hazel eyes, tall figures, and a minimalist yet sophisticated fashion sense. Luxembourgish women often leave a strong impression on visitors, especially foreign men. But what really makes them stand out isn't their looks, it's their confident aura and innate independence. Here's the shocking statistic: over 72% of Luxembourgish women of working age hold positions in finance, technology, or senior management. This self-reliance, intelligence, and cultured lifestyle have helped Luxembourg achieve a sky-high rate of international marriages. Many foreign men are swept off their feet by women who are not only modern and knowledgeable, but also know how to maintain personal space and a gentle touch in relationships. Despite their free-spirited lives, Luxembourgish women value marriage deeply. They are rational yet emotional, maintaining personal and family life with rare finesse. The result: Luxembourg currently boasts Europe's highest marriage happiness index, with a divorce rate even lower than France or Belgium. It's like the country has cracked the code on successful relationships. The country that hit pause at 7 p.m. Luxembourg delivers a cultural shock that's hard to believe a country among the richest in the world, yet living at a pace as slow and gentle as an old European village. Here, 7 p. Isn't the start of nightlife or late shopping. It's the moment the entire nation begins to shut down. Shops close, streets empty, and the silence becomes so deep you can hear your own footsteps echoing on the pavement. This deep slowness becomes even more extreme on Sundays. While other countries enjoy bustling weekend crowds, Luxembourg practically powers off. Restaurants rest, shops lock up, and malls stay dark. If you need to buy something on a Sunday, your only option is to wait until the next day. Walking through such a wealthy country that feels so still and deserted on weekends is a shock that hits every newcomer. Even nighttime, the vibrant heartbeat of most European cities feels unusually soft here. No bustling nightlife, no late neon lights, no crowds spilling out of bars. Luxembourg chooses absolute calm. And it's this contrast between modern prosperity and a lifestyle that values slowness, quiet, and restraint that makes Luxembourg one of the most unexpectedly fascinating and strangely pleasant cultural shocks for anyone experiencing it for the first time. Get paid to buy a car. Now here's something that sounds too good to be true, but it's absolutely real. While other countries are still debating how to encourage green transportation, Luxembourg has taken the lead with a policy that literally pays you cash to buy electric cars. Specifically, the government offers up to 8,000 euros, about $8,500, to each citizen who purchases a new electric vehicle. That's a very attractive number, even by European standards. Thanks to this support, Luxembourg residents can easily access modern electric cars without worrying too much about upfront costs. Imagine owning a Tesla Model 3 or Volkswagen ID.4 at a much lower price, plus getting completely free public transportation for long-distance travel. But here's the flip side that makes this policy even more aggressive. If you don't choose an electric car in Luxembourg, you'll pay significantly more from the start and throughout ownership. Electric cars get up to $8,500 in support, while gas cars receive no help and face higher taxes and registration fees ranging from $1,100 to $3,200. Not only that, gas cars are restricted from city centers and must pay an extra $11 to $27 each time to enter low-emission zones. Electric cars, meanwhile, can move freely without extra costs. Over 5 years, a gas car owner could spend an extra $10,000 to $15,000 compared to an electric car owner. It's like the government is literally paying you to make the environmentally friendly choice while punishing you financially for the alternative. A place where you cannot drive not because it's forbidden, but because there are simply no roads for cars to exist. If you want to explore this extraordinary city, I've left a link in the top corner of the screen. I've also put a direct link to it in the pinned comment below this video. And don't forget to come back to discover the unique love tradition that exists only in Luxembourg. The Pretzel love story tradition. Now here's a romantic tradition so unique and bizarre that it sounds like something from a fairy tale. But it's completely real and still practiced today. The Pretzel love story tradition in Luxembourg, also known as Pretzel Sunday, turns a simple pastry into a delicate symbol of love. On the third Sunday of Lent, the entire country is filled with a sense of anticipation and excitement. According to custom, this is the day when a man expresses his affection by giving the woman he loves a giant sweet pretzel. These pretzels are not just food. They are works of art braided from sweet dough, glazed with shiny sugar icing, and sprinkled with crispy almonds, representing a sweet and splendid promise of love. The beauty of the tradition lies in the response. The pretzel becomes a test of love. If the woman reciprocates his feelings, she sends him an Easter egg on Easter Sunday, a gentle and graceful way to say his affection is accepted. But if she refuses, the poor man receives a bitter symbol instead, an empty basket, a polite yet unmistakable rejection. What makes this tradition truly charming is the delightful role reversal that happens every leap year. Once every 4 years, everything flips. The women are the ones who gift pretzels to men. This playful twist reflects Luxembourg's sense of equality and humor in matters of love. Adding a fresh and endearing touch to this symbolic romantic ritual, imagine living in a country where your romantic fate could be determined by a pretzel. It's simultaneously the most adorable and most nerve-wracking dating tradition you'll ever hear about. The first country to create a happiness bank. This sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, but it's completely real. Luxembourg proudly presents itself as the first country to establish a happiness bank, called Progrès Pibanais, a sophisticated system using 64 indicators to measure citizens' well-being. Launched in 2013, the initiative has been celebrated as a symbol of a people-centered government. Data from this happiness bank frequently reports an astonishing figure: nearly 95% of Luxembourgers claim to be happy or very happy. But here's where things get controversial, and this might be the most shocking revelation yet. This number might not be a reflection of truth, but rather a polished illusion, carefully crafted and maintained by the state. The core problem lies in its lack of inclusivity. The index focuses almost exclusively on Luxembourgish citizens, cleverly excluding nearly half of the country's permanent population immigrants and cross-border workers. These are the people who bear the brunt of soaring housing costs, long commutes, and the frustration of having no voting rights. By narrowing the scope of the survey, the government easily preserves a high happiness rate, effectively silencing the pain of those left behind. But here's the most questionable aspect as Luxembourg continues to face fierce international criticism for its role as a tax haven for multinational corporations. The nation's high happiness index serves as a tool of justification. The happiness of the people becomes moral proof to legitimize a global financial system built on inequality and secrecy. The greatest irony? While the system prides itself on using 64 variables to enable timely and effective policymaking, Luxembourg has spent the past decade struggling with exactly the problems that the data had long highlighted: a deepening housing crisis, chronic traffic congestion, and a growing imbalance between work and life. The country of wine and beer. If France is the home of wine and Germany is the empire of beer, then Luxembourg stands as the perfect crossroads between these two giants. A place where wine and beer are not merely drinks, but the very soul of its cultural identity. The people of Luxembourg don't seek the glamour of a glistening French champagne flute at lavish banquets. Instead, they proudly raise their glasses of Crémant de Luxembourg, a light, Pure sparkling wine, often called the champagne for connoisseurs, at parties, rather than flaunting expensive labels. Luxembourgers choose Crémant as a quiet declaration of refined taste and national pride. But Luxembourg doesn't live on wine alone. When twilight settles over the vine-covered hills, the cool call of beer takes over. On average, each Luxembourger consumes over 100 liters of beer per year, well above the American average of 74 liters, and ranks just behind beer powerhouses like Germany and the Czech Republic. What truly sets Luxembourgers apart is their meticulousness and loyalty to local craftsmanship. They shun mass-produced global brands in favor of artisanal brews steeped in regional character. Each bottle tells a story. Each sip echoes tradition. In the north, you'll find Dykirk Premium, a light beer with a delicate aftertaste, perfect for warm summer evenings by the river. Down south, locals take pride in Bofferding, a rich, full-bodied beer brewed from the finest barley and pure spring water drawn from the region's red earth. Yet behind this charming drinking culture lies a darker truth. Luxembourg's deep attachment to alcohol has made it one of the highest consuming nations in Europe. Here, wine and beer are not just pleasures. They are often the social lubricant, the only way to pierce the natural reserve of its people. This creates invisible social pressure on non-drinkers and raises serious public health concerns. The world's biggest healthcare spender, Luxembourg's healthcare system spends more money per person than almost any other country on Earth, with annual healthcare expenditures exceeding $5,000 per person, one of the highest in Europe. But here's where it gets controversial. Questions inevitably arise about the misuse of public resources, especially when luxury services, from Michelin-style hospital menus to spa therapies, are fully covered by insurance. The focus seems to be more on comfort and prestige than on sustainability or equity. Beneath this polished surface lies a fragile dependency. The system relies heavily on foreign medical professionals, doctors, nurses, and technicians commuting daily from Belgium, France, and Germany. This over-reliance creates not only logistical vulnerabilities but also linguistic and cultural barriers, often hindering effective communication with local patients. Even more concerning is the quiet rise of a VIP medicine culture within public hospitals. Exclusive services like private rooms, gourmet meals, and wellness treatments form a subtle yet significant hierarchy that channels resources toward enhancing the experience of a privileged few. Meanwhile, the broader population faces longer waiting times and inconsistent quality in essential medical care. Preventive health initiatives, though generous on paper, reinforce existing inequalities. Subsidies for gym memberships or wellness programs primarily benefit those who already have the time, money, and motivation to participate, while higher-risk, lower-income groups remain largely excluded. In essence, behind the facade of excellence lies a system both expensive and fragile, one that mistakes luxury for progress. It's healthcare designed more like a five-star hotel than a medical system. A foodie's paradise. If you think European cuisine is just about French wine, German sausages, or Swiss cheese, Luxembourg will make you think again. With a population of just about 672,000, Luxembourg boasts the second highest density of Michelin-starred restaurants in the world after Switzerland. With 11 restaurants featured in the 2025 Michelin Guide, that means just a few blocks walk in the capital can lead you to a world-class meal. No need to travel far like in Paris or Milan. The concentration of culinary excellence is absolutely staggering when you consider the tiny population. The national cuisine tells the story of Luxembourg's unique position in Europe. Start with Judmat Gardebounen, smoked pork neck stewed with broad beans, the national culinary icon. This seemingly simple dish is carefully prepared. Pork is salted, smoked, and then slow-cooked with herbs for hours, resulting in a tender, flavorful delight that represents the soul of Luxembourg cooking. Gromperakisselschir, crispy fried potato cakes, are the perfect snack for an afternoon at the market. If you visit in winter, look for Bauneschlup, green bean soup with smoked sausage, potatoes, and onions. This thick, hot soup is the soul of cold days in the Ardennes Hills. For dessert, try Vervoerelter, crispy twisted donuts often served at festivals. The combination of traditional comfort food and world-class fine dining creates a culinary landscape that's both deeply rooted in tradition and internationally acclaimed. Year-round festivals. Our final mind-blowing fact, reveals how Luxembourg transforms throughout the year with festivals so unique, you won't find them anywhere else in the world. If you love lively festivals but still want a touch of classic European elegance, Luxembourg offers an incredible calendar of celebrations. The year starts in February with Lichtmessdag, a unique winter Halloween you won't find anywhere else. At sunset, children parade the cobblestone streets with colorful lanterns they made themselves, creating a magical atmosphere that looks like something from a fairy tale. Spring brings the Burgbrennen Fire Festival, one of the oldest rituals to bid farewell to winter and welcome spring. At night, huge bonfires light up villages and city squares. Locals and visitors join hands to dance around the fire, raise glasses of hot spiced wine, and savor golden, fragrant pastries. Summer explodes with the Schuberfuhr, the biggest and oldest festival running for 3 weeks from late August to early September. First held in 1340, it turns Luxembourg City into a giant amusement park. There are circus acts and magic shows right on the bustling streets with Luxembourgish women looking radiant in bright summer dresses. The festival year ends with the sparkling Christmas markets, especially at Place d'Armes. Dubbed Europe's Little Christmas Paradise, here you'll find traditional craft stalls, glittering decorations, and the scent of hot mulled wine wafting through the ancient streets. So there you have it, 13 absolutely mind-blowing facts about Luxembourg that prove this tiny country is full of contradictions, surprises, and unique approaches to modern life. From extreme wealth existing alongside shocking poverty, to getting paid thousands to buy a car, to romantic traditions involving giant pretzels, Luxembourg defies every expectation you might have about small European nations. The most fascinating thing about Luxembourg is how it represents the complexities of our modern world in miniature. It's simultaneously the richest and most unequal, the most progressive and most traditional, the most connected and most isolated country you'll ever encounter. What surprised you most about Luxembourg? Have you ever visited this incredible country? Or do these facts make you want to experience it for yourself? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your perspectives on these amazing discoveries. If you enjoyed uncovering these shocking truths about Luxembourg, make sure you're subscribed because next week I'm revealing equally mind-blowing facts about another European country that will completely change how you see the continent. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey through Luxembourg's hidden realities. Until next time, keep exploring the amazing world around us.